It's the Mike Delivers podcast, and I'm really excited now to have on the line Wes Hurt. He is the founder of CleanCause.com and Clean Cause. We're going to talk about that. He lives in the Austin area, so we're going to talk about some awesome Austin food, which always intrigues me because I've never been to Austin, and I feel like that I should have been to Austin, and everybody always says you need to go to Austin. So we're going to talk about that. So, Wes, thanks for hopping on the Mike Delivers podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about you and reading about your background and everything that you have started with Clean Cause and CleanCause.com, which is organic beverage company that's really doing an incredible job in helping people that are recovering addicts and giving profits to them to help them clean their lives up. And I know for you, being sober now and the importance of that, obviously. So I just want to say congrats on all of your success. And I think what you're doing with Clean Cause, and I'll let you get more into it so I don't butcher everything that you're doing right, is just a tremendous job. And I'd love to hear you talk about it.
Well, cool. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for the kind words. I mean, about 6 years ago, I got sober. My rock bottom, if you will, came in the form of being kicked out of the house, losing my company. I was living in a warehouse, actually, with another homeless guy for a couple of months. And I was hanging out in a cemetery every single day, contemplating suicide. I dive into this pretty quickly because it's just my story and the reality, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I'm also, I wasn't homeless for years or anything. I've dabbled in a little bit of all the experiences to be able to, to have the experience to share, I guess. So, that time in my life, though, hanging out in that cemetery every day for probably about 9 months, crying and popping pills and boozing and stuff. And it really came down to, I came to this place, a state of limbo, really, where I really didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die. And the way I explain it to people, spiritual or not, is that I was kind of asking God for permission to take my life. And I never got that go ahead. And so I'm grateful for that. But it was a really painful time in my life, one that I remember very, very well. And it fuels my empathy and compassion for others because I'm not alone. And that's not that unique. Maybe my circumstances of hanging out in the cemetery, sure, things like that. People are like, whoa, that's a little dark. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dark. Anyway, through a lot of different circumstances and support and a higher power and all kinds of just awesomeness, I got on the road to recovery about 6 years ago.
I guess how with, getting clean and using that energy to create Clean Cause, what was the genesis behind that, and how did that all get started?
Well, what's interesting is, and I know you do, Uber Eats delivery and so forth. You got a passion for food and reviews and stuff. What's interesting, because I got to throw this in now because it's funny. Before I started Clean Cause, I owned a cupcake business. And I had these Airstreams all over town, Austin, with these shiny Airstreams with giant cupcakes that we built that rotated on top of them. And it was called Hey Cupcake. Anyway, we could get into that a little bit later when we jump into food, but it's because it's funny. I want to tell you about one of my first Yelp reviews I got.
Oh, okay, cool.
But anyway, so I lost that company. I got kicked out, booted, rock bottom. I'm sitting there in a 12-step meeting, pretty like super new and sober. I've been hooked on opiates, and it's a long battle back to just let your brain heal and stuff. I wasn't shooting heroin or, not to diminish popping pills or vice versa.
Right.
It's just opiates and meth. I mean, for folks, it's just, I feel for them. But my point of saying that so I was sitting there and you have this kind of spiritual and physical healing that has to happen concurrently. And you just got to stay on the track long enough to be able to see those moments of clarity that enable you to go the next day. And then the next day, and it's not unlike exercising or diet or anything. It's the consistency of feeding these things that enrich your spirit in your life. But that said, I sat there and I was in a place where I wasn't really able to feel God. I wasn't really able to feel, the support and love of others. And I was sitting there, and I'm an entrepreneur. I think I don't think I chose to be an entrepreneur. I kind of think it chose me, looking back in time. And man, I had this spark. I just had this idea, and I'm like, dude, I've got to. I want to do something, and it has to have purpose, because although selling cupcakes was awesome because I made people smile and stuff, but like fueling diabetes was not part of the purpose. And so, I mean, it was a whimsical brand, and the whole idea was, eat one on your birthday, don't eat them all the time, because we use real butter, man. That's it, man. And so it was like flavored butter. It was badass. But I guess my point is, what is my point? I had this inspiration and this idea, and I didn't think I had ideas anymore, because I thought all of my creativity was fueled by drugs and alcohol.
Right.
So when I got sober, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm worthless. I have nothing. And that's why I hung out in the cemetery. I was like, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. And I really, truly believe there was zero chance for me to come back in life. I really remember that, going, there's nothing for me. And so the idea came, and it started with the 50% profit. So 50% of our profits go to support people in recovery. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just do something. I had no clue of the financial implications of that, or the fact that you're telling an investor that you would like their money, but you want to give half of it away on a regular basis. It's not, it doesn't sound that great. It's noble and admirable, but if they're like, yeah, it's not for me. So we started with the purpose. And then we were like, dude, what are we going to do with the product? And we were like, so I need a product. I didn't really have a lot of credibility, obviously, and things like that. So I'm like, shit, I don't have a lot of money. I'm like, how do I get started? What do I do? So I was like, dude, we can get some bottled water. I can get some freaking cases of bottled water with a label on it. And then I'm sitting there and I said, okay, so we got the purpose, we got the product. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's the name? What's the package? What is it? And I'm like, sober. I want to call it sober because I want it to be in your fucking face. Because as an addict, I always wanted attention, and my whole life I'm acting out. I'm like, just keep it consistent, even in recovery. I want to be in your face. And so sober, and the irony. And then so I tell my sister, I call her, I tell her about the product, I tell her about the purpose, I tell her about this like inspiration within, and I'm starting to feel alive again. I go, dude, I got this idea. And I go, it's called sober. And she goes, ooh, she goes, I like everything but the name. She goes, Wes, I don't want to walk into a gym holding a bottle of water called sober, so everybody thinks I'm an alcoholic. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she goes, gotcha. How about clean? And I just went, oh my gosh.
Perfect.
I was like, I love you. So I hung up the phone, went home, made a logo on Microsoft Word, or was it Microsoft? It was just a little program that I kind of done fairly. But it's Avenir font with rounded corners.
Looking good.
And then we're driving, we said clean, but we have a cause. And I was like, clean cause.
There you go.
And boom, that was the genesis.
Very cool. And I think it's really interesting what you said too. Like, you have this mindset that you can't be creative or a creative mind or a really great thinker if you're sober. And in it's the exact opposite. It's like your mind's fresh and clear, and now you're coming up with great ideas, and boom, you've come up with something that's not only just a great product, but now you're helping out people. And to me, that's just incredible. And I thought what you said, though, you can be a great thinker with a clean mind, and it's so true.
You can, and the irony is, like, I have a guy who's semi-famous electric guitarist, and I 15 years ago in Austin, I used to go watch him play, and I'd be just out of my mind, and he used to stand up on the bar in front of me and taking Jaeger shots. But my point is, I even remembered 15 years ago, this man who could play the electric guitar like you would never believe, he quit. And he told me the same thing. He goes, dude, I thought my playing and my was fun, was amplified, was enriched with drugs and alcohol. These stories you hear about, these awareness with Steve Jobs on acid or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's a place for all of that stuff. Whatever.
Right.
And I'm not going to condemn experiential shit for people. If you're not a drug addict, do something for me.
You said before with cupcakes, you had a Yelp review.
Oh yeah.
So I'm there's a reason you remember this Yelp review. So let me hear about it.
Yeah, so the big thing with cupcakes, first of all, when I launched my cupcake business, I didn't know, I thought it was like really easy to do cupcakes. I thought, at scale, I'm like, oh, you just Google it shit, and you just figure it out and you just combine these recipes from like John's grannies out of Alabama and just kind of do all this shit. And so I did not have a cupcake 2 weeks before we opened.
Ooh.
Because I thought it was that easy. I had everything else set up, ready to rock. Anyway, I made the cupcakes and stuff. And one of the first Yelp reviews we got is, I love the concept. And it was something along the lines of, I love this concept of this brand, but the cupcakes have the consistency of roof shingles. and it was such a creative and good negative review.
Yeah, right.
That I embraced it. I was like, that's all right. But I don't know that there was ever another review in 7 years that I was okay with, because I'm like, screw you. Like, do you know how hard it is to make 1,000 cupcakes and all of them not be dry? I mean, by the way, did you just go running before you ate that? You didn't tell me that. That's why it's dry. No, I'm kidding. But see, obviously you can say that, there's still some PSD in the Yelp reviews beyond that one. But so.
That's definitely funny and memorable. So I'm always interested in Austin. So have you lived in Austin for your entire life?
Yeah, with the exception of kind of doing geographic ripcords as an addict, you kind of just will jump on a plane and be like, I'm changing my life. And I moved to LA.
Gotcha.
I moved to Hollywood to be with an actor friend. Terrible idea. Went straight to Colorado after that to hit the bong for a year, thinking that I was going to find my way there. And cocaine to bong, no dice, back to Austin. So 42 years, 39 of it's lived here.
Gotcha. So, all right, cool. So let's pretend that, I'm coming to Austin and there's one restaurant we have to go to. There's one spot all right, this guy's from New Jersey. He's never been before. Where are we going for dinner?
Oh, man. So I kind of have to give you two answers.
That's fine.
There's a reason why I have to give two. Because when you hear sushi in Texas, those are not in the thesaurus. I love saying thesaurus. Makes me sound kind of smart. No, but, but literally, I think the best sushi place in the United States is here, and it's called Uchi. And it's mind-blowing. It really is. And the reason I bring that up as a place that's notable is that you're not getting great fish from the Gulf necessarily. Right. It's and you're known for the Pac Northwest, San Fran or West or Northeast for fresh stuff. So it doesn't seem like it would make sense. It's amazing, dude.
No, that's cool. That's a good answer, because one of my questions was I know there's always the idea of barbecue. So
barbecue.
What I was going to ask you, what was the restaurant non-barbecue? So you answered two right there. What's your go-to meal when you're getting sushi there?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There is no go-to. You really want to do the spread. And I'm not that guy. I'm not that sophisticated. I hate going to 19 dish meals and stuff. I don't have the attention span for that. I'm like, slap the brisket, give me some beans, give me the sauce, let's roll. But this is one of those places that I actually kind of said, I'll drink the Kool-Aid of this experience of putting the hot and the cold and the sour and the sweet and the savory. And I'm like art almost, or some crap. But it really was that.
Wow.
It is. It's badass.
That's really cool. Yeah, sushi is definitely one of my favorites. So I'm anytime someone's going to talk about sushi, I'm just I'm here for that. So that's cool. Dude, that's good. That's good to know.
I'm telling you. I don't care where you've been in New York, all those. I'm telling you.
All right.
There's something insane, and the guys. How it started is mind blowing too.
How it started.
But I won't go into that too much. But it's crazy how it started.
Well, I know the first thing we do when the interview's over is, and I'm not kidding, I wrote it down. I'm going to go online and Google photos and Yelp photos and I want to see the sushi. Now that's all I'll be thinking about for the foreseeable future. How about then on the barbecue side of things, the Austin spot that you're digging?
Man, I can't do that.
I figured.
I'm not putting a stake in the ground on that. I can't. because there's different. I go to places for different reasons.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I know that's a shitty answer. I get it.
That's
man.
fine.
You're looking for an answer I can't give you. But what I can say is I want to give you a non-traditional restaurant, a meal that, and he is my friend, so there's slightly a conflict of interest. But I didn't plan this out to like pitch him or anything. There's a juice joint in town. I know, and those juice. You're like, dude, what are you doing talking about juice on my freaking show? It's called Juice Land. Juice Land. One word. It is the hospital of health eating. I mean, psycho. Like even, I mean, I've never seen a place that was so amazing in terms of putting in all of these abstract ingredients and everything you've always heard, and spirulina and all this crap, and it tastes amazing, and it makes you feel amazing. That's the truth. So it's not, and they have all kinds of different meals and things and creations that they created that are like not Beyond Meat with sodium and shit like that. They're like, it's all legit. So anyway, I really strongly recommend going there because it's not just this juice that someone squeezed like in LA or New York and they're like, are you feeling skinny? No, it's like, right. There's a whole experience to it, and it really is pretty awesome. So,
that's cool to hear. Are you big into doing like Uber Eats or deliveries to your house?
Yeah.
I
am. I got a problem. I rationalize. This is pre-COVID problem. I would be like, I started with like, I'll do it once, and then I started like getting like toothpaste. And I'm like, damn it, dude, what's happened? And then I rationalize the entire thing with one word, or one sentence. I'm stimulating the economy.
Yes, you are.
I tell my wife that every time. I go, we must stimulate the economy. Apple pie, 2 of them, and ice cream, please. Stimulation.
That's right.
But it's true. Well, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'll keep drinking that rationalization. But
what's been during the pandemic, what's been you would say the most frequent used restaurant you've got delivery from?
There's a place called Bartletts in town. And for, I don't know if you get on like kicks of a particular meal and
totally.
You'll just let it run for like 2 months and then you'll have it up for like 9 months.
Yeah.
There's this French dip, man. That is mind-blowing. It's got a mayonnaise with not ginger, but like what is the spicier not sauerkraut. Why am I thinking sauerkraut?
Sriracha.
Horseradish.
Yeah.
It's got a horseradish mayo with this prime rib and a like the bun that you could order the bun alone. And right. I'm not a big bread guy because a lot of the time like people talk about crust on pizza and I'm like, dude, that's a waste. I want the middle, and they're like, what? I'm like, it's a waste for me. So bread typically I see as a waste, but it's amazing.
Well then let me ask you this, and this is the big hot topic on this podcast that comes up a lot. So let's say you get that sandwich and it's, for whatever reason, the driver took forever, something happened, you're waiting an hour. Are you reheating the meal or are you eating it as it is?
No, I don't believe in reheating.
Not a reheater.
I don't reheat. Oh, and the one thing that anybody in the world that's reheating chicken, what's wrong with you? Chicken, dude, I don't know if you can't, like chicken. What happens when you reheat chicken?
Yeah, it's garbage.
What is that, dude?
See, I have a big problem. I am a reheater, and a reheater to a fault. Like, we're all ruined food, and I know this. And my wife and I have this conversation.
That's what I was saying. That was my point. There's a point.
I am that guy.
Diminishing reheating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you cross the line, dude, it's like you might as well not even ordered, Yeah,
no, I know. You have to find the line. But I know, like, for me, I get the idea. Like, if I'm ordering this food, I need it hot like I was at the restaurant. And I'm not a pain in the ass person. And I like to not like be a bother to people, and I like to be as low key as possible. And I'll just, that's fine, great, no problem. But when the food is cold, I become a nightmare.
Well, so but are you the reheater that doesn't make a comment about being late? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, if it's like with my wife alone, she'll know. But if it's like if I'm with other people, I'll kind of dip to the side and make my own move for the reheat, and I won't put a stink up about it. But if it's just us alone, and now I can tell my wife's like, I know, we're getting the oven ready. Relax, don't worry. So I kudos to you for not being a jerk about it. Like I'm jealous in a lot of ways.
I'm not going to say I'm not a jerk. I was trying to
well, with that part.
I was trying to find out how much of a jerk you were first so I could see how I weighed in. I'm like, oh, your point of relativity of jerkness. I'm like, I'm bad. No, I'm a jerk, man. I am. I'm not the guy, though, that's ever asked someone to take the food back or give me money back. I don't do it because it's just too awkward. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
No, I'm totally with you. What's your tip etiquette then for the Uber Eats driver? And you're talking to Uber Eats drivers.
A minimum 15. Minimum, no matter what.
Nice.
It doesn't matter to me. It's because I just there's the thing I find in life is that we almost always lack context if we don't have time. So we have no fucking clue what that guy just went through or that one. We have no clue that it wasn't their fault. We have no clue that the algorithm didn't skip over your house and then retroactively fall back because Johnny wanted to go somewhere else and uses 3 cancellations of the week or something. So my point is I know where I'm at when people do certain things. I'm like, you don't know shit about what's going on. I'm not great right now. I'm not. Anyway.
I like that answer a lot because as an Uber Eats driver, it's true too. Like sometimes it's funny, like the people that tip the best, I'll be like, that was the easiest delivery. And then I'll have one where you're going through construction and there's like a dog ran across the road. I'm like, steering away. And then the person's house was 25 floors up and the elevator wasn't working. And you're like, you didn't tip me? How do you not tip me? And like, so I enjoy that answer.
Let me ask you that though. I'm interested. What is your expectation from if the issue is completely out of your control and you know that, but the other person does not know that? What is your honest expectation of a minimal expectation?
At this point right now, I expect just anything is like gets
wait. You have times where you don't get anything?
Oh, there's a lot. I would say 20% of orders do not tip people.
Wow.
At all. Just don't come in. So at this point, like whenever you see one, it's exciting. Really? I will say it is kind of weird. Like when I had somebody do this one time, and I think it was a mistake. Like when they were typing in the numbers on the
you got like 1,000.
I got 1 cent.
Ooh.
And I was just like that. I was like, that has to be a mistake, or they were sending a message that I did not get their Chinese food in time.
I'm gonna have to go with B.
Send it. Yeah, that was weird.
To be honest with you, I don't think that's a mistake, man. And the reason why it's not a mistake.
Why do you say that?
I'll tell you why it's not a mistake.
Yeah.
Because it's not 1 digit off.
Right.
It's 2.
That's true. It's 2,
3, or 4.
Right.
If they were a billionaire that wanted to give you 100 or they wanted to give you $1, the fact that there was 1 cent, they were 2 away. Oh,
I know.
I'm sorry, bro. I can't jump on board.
It's okay. This was pre-pandemic, so you were allowed to go up to people, and I saw him and he was nice, and I was like, okay, that was fine. Nothing extraordinary, like memorable about the drop off. But then with Uber Eats, you get the money back, the tip, and like an hour later. So when I saw that come in, I was like, mother.
Dude, that whole system seems like it's an efficient resentment factory.
Yes.
It's like I am cranking out resentments left and right with this deal.
Well, what happens too is like,
and here's the deal. You could have a badass tip at the beginning of the shift and have 3 that ruin it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's totally true.
You're like, I'm day trading. I just won $1 billion there and I lost 3. Like I'm down 2. What?
That I've never heard that expression before with this, but that is like the perfect way to describe it. And I was telling you this beforehand, before we got on the podcast, that doing Uber Eats is a weird therapy for me. And it's like, because it kind of takes my mind away from all the bullshit going on around my life.
Yeah.
And just I kind of focus, and it's like a game. Like I got to get money here. I got to get a tip here. But you're so right. Like the order of your emotions of $10 tip, 2 no tips. And you really just feel like, you're day trading. That's great. I'm totally stealing that.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
How much do you think your text your confirmation text can influence your tip amount.
This is
And how much are you allowed to do?
You are allowed to text anybody as much as you want.
Really?
I could go on there and write, and I used to do this more in the very beginning. I would send all these messages like, food is on your way, had to wait a couple of minutes, kitchen staff was wrapping it up, I'm headed your way. Trying to be the best I could be at the job. And then as time went on, I was like, no.
You got jaded. Jaded.
I don't know. It's not jaded. I'm going to defend this. Maybe a teeny bit jaded.
Well, now that means a lot more than a little bit. But anyway, go ahead.
Teeny bit. But it was a lot of like, it doesn't make a difference. It could be, it's just the luck of the person. So to put in the time and effort, for that, maybe one person it changes. I actually brought on somebody who's an Uber Eats driver, and he is insane about the messages. He'll be like, can I pick you up extra chopsticks? Can I get you some soy sauce? And he's all into it. And I'm on the theory of just go, go, go.
Okay, I got one.
You could write messages all over the place. Yeah.
I got one for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Now, we'll guarantee you your tips will go up, or I will pay what you think the difference was.
Let's go.
Do a video.
Mm-hmm.
Do a video. Because that's scalable.
Yeah.
Maybe there's 3 videos. I don't know what the content is, but the objective is to make them smile. If you made me smile with a video and it wasn't an emoji that I know you've used a million times with everybody else that shows the feet and the car and the gas in and out, that's bullshit. There's no differentiation in that, and everyone knows that. So your buddy's things of saying you want chopsticks and napkins and blah, we're like, duh, no shit. Thank you for taking the extra effort to copy and paste. If you took the time to produce just a little 15-second deal, and I don't know what it is, man, but I'm telling you, if I saw that from you, and I looked down, and I knew that you took the time to make it, and maybe even turn it up a little bit more than you thought. And it's not about asking for something. Here's the difference. It's about enriching. Yeah. If you invest in my life through this little delivery in this little video that makes my endorphins go up even a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm tipping your ass.
All right, I like it.
You took the time beyond an emoji.
Yeah, beyond the emoji. That's exactly right. And it's a good point, too, because now let's say I'm delivering food to your door. I have a mask on my face. So normally I'd be like, smile, show that I'm energetic. Now it's like, so there's no more smiling. It to show your friendly service is gone.
Hey, and so look, maybe your video is your mask is on. You're like, hey, I'm blah 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 blah, and you're like, this is who I am. Hey, check out these pearly whites.
That's right.
Never seen them.
And I'm coming with the burrito.
Yeah, and the burrito is on the way. Ching boom, back on. Whatever it is, something. But it can and it could be a scalable video, and you could have 3 of them, dude. Yeah. And one could be for this reason, this reason, this reason, and take the time to say, if my only goal was to enrich or lift their spirit with this video, that was the only goal.
Right.
Byproduct is going to be tips flowing out the butt. Sorry, I don't know why it's got to be out the butt.
Wherever they're flowing.
I don't care where they go. Make it rain.
I don't care where they come from. All right, I know you've got 2 beautiful kids. So what is the go-to order with kids that you're getting? Because you're like, I don't know if I love this as much, but I know it's a family meal.
It's hit or miss, but what's really funny is because we were talking about barbecue. I brought my kid to work today for the first time in a while. I got to show you this. This is kind of cute.
Oh, very nice.
He's on the forklift, and OSHA is already on their way. But what I was gonna say, their go-to. So we were driving. My kid, I raised them on brisket. I raised them on brisket and to be barefooted. And I think barefoot might have been a machismo thing, but I wrote it up as kind of like caveman, tough feet, tough heart,
right?
For the good things. To be, and then brisket though, I did take some Texas Pride or something weird. I was like, it's like you want to feed your little lizard or alligator some steak or something. Throw it over. So I would every once in a while I'd get some brisket and I'd be throw it on their plate a little bit, Tina, feeding Tina, and what's the movie? Anyway, And so we're driving to work. My window was down, and he smelled brisket from a place like 100 yards away. And I didn't know he knows all these things. And he goes, "Smells like brisket outside." So, and I was like, "What did you say?" I was like,
I'm so proud.
And I'm like, "It does smell like brisket." I was like, "Dude, well done." So brisket, organic chicken nuggets, so they can't be shapes of something cut out. And then it's not mac and cheese, but it's some like Annie's organic crap. It's the same crap. But
yeah.
So sometimes you have to bring all three sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where they're at, man. And they're
Beautiful.
like, "Nah, the brisket's a little too spicy. I'll have that. Please bring more of that." And I'm like, so brisket is the go-to though, because
Nice.
they'll do it. They'll do it.
How about date night then? Kids are gone. What's a delivery, non-delivery you guys are doing?
Honestly, we need to have more date nights. That's the truth. It's like this has been like a 6-month long date that never
Yeah,
ended.
it's true.
I'm like, I don't want to eat with you. I don't want to breathe next to you. Like, I still love you. Anyway, our meal. I don't know where I go with that. There's a pizza place here that is like New York level pizza and is on point. And it's called Little Deli. And it's a guy I think who's from New York, but it's back tucked into a little corner in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And everything they have is bomb.
Nice.
Everything. It's because they care so much.
Right.
Not about scaling the business. They never wanted to do that. I would invest in them in a heartbeat. It's just, anyway, that's what we do. And it's got to be well done pizza though.
Well done in the sense of the cheese is real crispy and
cooked, not crispy, but I need a little brown in there.
I'm with you.
And where I especially need, my favorite part of the pizza is the transition, the bridge between the body of the pizza and the crust, that little strip of cheese.
Interesting.
Oh, that's it, man. That's my whole life. That piece.
That bridge.
That's it.
That's it. The bridge there. That's cool. How about a Saturday or Sunday NFL or a Hook'em Horns game? Is there a go-to football ideal meal you have?
Yeah, so you would load up on if it's a morning game ish, you're gonna go kill a ton of queso and breakfast tacos. There's like a place that I go and I'll go get 3 and it has serranos and you just get a really nice base in the belly to be able to stick the long haul out, And then, but yeah, I'll do. It's got to be with queso though.
Very cool. Well, Wes, I've really enjoyed our conversation here on the Mike Delivers podcast. I have a few questions I end my podcast with. I'll get to those in a second, but I want to make sure for people that are interested and want to check out cleancause.com, they can just go online. Simple enough to find everything if they want to get some drinks.
Yeah, everything's on there, and you can go on Amazon and do Clean Cause. I mean, I'm not a guy that likes to go on someone's website and put all my information in. Again, it's just a pain in the ass. I'm too lazy. So Amazon or cleancause.com.
Beautiful.
Oh, also, or if you get a chance for the classless, shameless solicitation, go on Instagram and like us and follow us and share it and scream how cool we are. And hopefully our algorithm will just skyrocket,
Exactly. All right. The questions, and I ask everybody that ends this podcast with, there's 4. I actually introduced a 4th one after it got a lot of play on social media. And that is, what do you prefer, a pancake or a waffle?
Waffle.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, I want to fill every single hole with
that's been a big answer.
Halfway with butter, half with syrup.
I've been surprised by the waffle answers. That's got to me. And then this one's my wife's.
Pancakes are too variable. That's the problem. I can't count on it.
Fair. That's a fair answer. This one my wife's extremely passionate about. She's got one answer, and she thinks it's not even close. Do you prefer cake or pie?
Gosh, that's a weird – I mean cake for me. But I'm an icing junkie, so I'm not really – the cake's the vehicle for the icing for me. It's just it's a bait and switch on myself.
Best thing you ate in the past 7 days from right now?
Best thing I ate in 7 days from now. It was the French dip, man. I had one 3 days ago, dude. Now I'm gonna probably have another one tonight. Dang it! Until I burn it out, man.
I feel that.
Moderation's never been a strong point for me.
And then my final question, I asked this to everybody, and I just asked for your honesty. A year from now, let's just say hypothetically you're getting married and you're sending out wedding invitations. Are you inviting me to your wedding?
No. I mean, I don't think so. I'm like, and if you make me answer today, no. If we continue to be friends, probably not. And no.
Wes, thank you very much for coming on the Mike Delivers podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.